Welcome to Covers is NHL Prop with Jingles and Coco, where one of us has not one, but two career tucks versus Lundqvist, and the other one is me. I'm your co-host, Josh Inglis, betting analyst for Covers.com, joined by 14-year NHL vet, NHL analyst Carlo Colaiacovo. What is up, my man Coco?
Jingles, my man. I think they call him King Hendrick. Does that mean I get the crown now?
Because I scored against him? Yeah. 2 tucks versus him. You can have it. We're going to start off, as we always do. We are at the Leafs here. Now, Arizona is in town. Arizona is scoring a ton. But Toronto has allowed 29 goals over its last 5 games, has the worst save percentage over the last 60 days, and faces this Arizona team that has scored 17 goals over its last 2 games. Is it safe to assume we're going to see another high-scoring game with two-way scoring versus the Yotes tonight?
Oh, buddy, you're going to be seeing a pile of goals scored tonight, because as much as you want to mention the Arizona Coyotes are scoring a ton, I mean, look what this Leafs team is doing. They are scoring in bunches, led by one line and one man. That is Austin Mathews, who today is the best player on the face of the earth playing hockey. It's unbelievable what he's doing. And you know, I don't even know what the over-under is in this game. Is it 8.5? Because it should be. I mean, it might be the highest total that we've seen in hockey this season. But you got to love the value here. You know, I think there's a little bit of payback here for the Maple Leafs. They played Arizona, you know, about a month ago in Arizona. It was a low-scoring game. It was the Vejmelka show. Well, the Vejmelka show, I think, is over. It ain't coming to Toronto and putting on a show, because this Maple Leafs team, led by the Austin Mathews line, is going to be putting on another show again tonight.
Absolutely, and we hit the Mathews prop anytime goal scoring last time, but obviously at the rate he's scoring, this prop's fallen all the way down to minus 190, so we're pivoting. We are hitting Austin Mathews over 1.5 points for plus money. The Mathews band, as he has been coined in Toronto.
Yeah, that's right, buddy.
Is running hot. Austin Mathews, number 1 in points since January 1st, 42 points in 27 games. He has multi-point games in 3 straight and 6 of his last 8. You can still get him at plus 1,200 for the Art Ross. Can Mathews and this line be stopped right now?
It can't. It can't. And you know what? It's like you got to ride a heater when it's hot. You know, you can't be betting against this. You got to ride the wave. And right now there's too much good going on with this line. I mean, does Arizona have the D pairing that can stop this line? Do they have the goalie to stop this line? I just don't see it. And the way Mathews is playing right now and that line is playing, it's dominance. It's dominance every time they're on the ice. They're going to get their chances. They're going to get their opportunities. You just got to like the potential here. And especially if you're getting plus money, that not only will he score, he'll pile up the points too. I think 2 is easy for him to get tonight.
Yeah, and as we saw in that Seattle game, like Seattle's got some big boys on the blue line. That didn't stop that line. No, not at all.
No.
So exactly, Toronto 3 power play goals in their last game, and nobody scores more than Austin Mathews at 5-on-5. So with that price, the anytime goal scoring, pivoting to the over 1.5 points for plus money, Mathews keeps it rolling. Jumping over to another massive game, another massive implications. Vegas, minus 230 at Buffalo, total of 6. This is the Jack Eichel show, and we are hitting him over 3.5 shots for plus 100. He'll make his return to Buffalo after a disastrous relationship with the organization. He was traded over to Vegas. He's hitting his stride at the perfect time. This will be his 11th game after missing 4 months. With this game meaning so much to him, would Peter DeBoer and his teammates reciprocate that feeling for Eichel and do what they can so Eichel can stick it to the Sabres tonight, Coco?
Well, Jingles, you got to think that this is a game that Jack Eichel has circled on his calendar. But not just Jack Eichel. The fans of Buffalo have circled on their calendar. It's been a tough year in Buffalo. They had to make a tough trade by moving on from their face of the franchise, Jack Eichel. They've averaged 7,000 to 8,000 fans a game in Buffalo. And that's sad, because I played in Buffalo and it is a great fan base. They deserve better. But you have to imagine that this is a game where fans want to come out and let them know how they really feel about the team and Jack Eichel demanding to be traded out of there. It's going to be a hostile environment for him to play in, probably something he's never played in before. There's going to be emotions that probably take over early on in that game. But once he gets settled, he has to realize the importance of this game, not just for himself to come out and have a good game because he wants, to have that extra motivation to do well and sort of stick it to the organization. But this Vegas team desperately needs a win. I mean, we're talking about a team that is trying to take the Tampa Bay approach, where they added a little bit more salary than they can carry. Mark Stone's on the IR. They've had injuries all year. They're not getting great goaltending. Remember, it's a return for Robin Leonard too, as a Vegas Golden Knight as well. So this game means a lot in the standings. And if you watch last game against Vegas or against the Philadelphia Flyers, they lost an ugly one, 2-1 to Philly. You can't be losing to teams like that at this time of year, especially when they're that important. The combination of losing last game and the desperation of winning this game added to the fact that this game is going to mean so much to Jack Eichel. Peter DeBoer and the Vegas Golden Knights are going to want to do this for Jack. Awesome. Put him out there every opportunity that they possibly can. And look, there's the great thing that happens in hockey. Every time the game gets a little bit more sentimental, there's a great thing that players do. It's called money on the board, where they're incentivizing the win. So a guy like Jack Eichel, with this much history to Buffalo, he's going to have massive money on the board tonight, not just for a win, but probably for the trainers that helped him get back on the ice, probably for the game-winning goal because he wants to win this game so bad. And, players play for that. You know what I mean? And money on the board can be anything. Playing against an old team, playing with family in the stands, signing a new contract, having a new baby, whatever it may be. But tonight, we all know the reason for money on the board. It's a Jack Eichel return to Buffalo where he wants to stick it to the team.
Yeah, and he's heating up. Like I said, this will be his 11th game, so his feet are getting underneath him. 4 shots in 7 of his last 8 games. 9 shots on net in his last game. 24.2% of his shifts are starting in the O zone, and he led all Vegas skaters, not just forwards. He led all skaters in ice time. So Peter DeBoer is letting him run. And you've been traded. What does that mean when you come back to your former team? Like, how much of a chip on his shoulder is he bringing tonight?
So I've been traded once in my career, and the irony behind me getting traded, the timing that I did, I got traded from Toronto to St. Louis, and we had already played them twice in that season. And in 2008, the schedule was constructed differently, where you'd play teams in certain conferences once every 2 to 3 years. So I didn't really have to deal with it that fresh. I had a year to sort of dissect and let it all sink in, and let it blow over. This is still fresh in Jack Eichel's mind, and I can imagine that with how bad and how toxic things got between him, the management, the fan base, the doctors, and stuff like that, there's a lot of motivation behind him to come out and show that, hey, see, I told you we should do it my way. This is how healthy I'm feeling right now. But in saying that, this guy wants to win. He's a competitor. That's why he left Buffalo. Buffalo didn't do him any favors when he was there. So it could be him saying, look, Steve, I told you, if you gave me good players and we were a good team, maybe I could have got you over the hump. So, Buffalo is going to play a little bit inspired too. The building will probably be a little bit more full. They know the importance and the impact that this game is, and the Jack Eichel return, and how much that means for the fan base. But I expect Jack Eichel to be all over the score sheet tonight.
Nice. And right now he's playing with Stevenson and Pacioretty.
And he's the trigger man, right? Those guys,
exactly.
Right? Those guys get him the puck. I mean, Pacioretty's another guy that can, trigger the puck too, putting it in his wheelhouse. But Jack Eichel, when he has the puck right now, he's going to want to be a shooter and a shooter all night.
Absolutely. PP1 center. And the team's thin at center with Matthias Janmark and Brett Howden out. So more shifts, and that's why we saw him with a heavy workload in his last game. So book it. Jack Eichel over 3.5 shots plus 100. We're banking on something that is more repeatable, as shots as opposed to his goals or his points props. So boom, big Jack Eichel game today. And we bring our final run over here. Rangers at St. Louis. And this game has a ton of implications. It's funny, they just played recently. St. Louis has been losing, but they need a big game tonight. And we like Vladimir Tarasenko over 2.5 shots, minus 125. The Blues offense is drying up, and it's at a bad time as they face the best goalie in the world in Igor Shesterkin, with the team struggling to bury and seeing the soon-to-be Vezina winner this year. What did the Blues do here from a game plan point of view, and does it mean more shots on net, just like you would in the playoffs? Just get, you know what I mean? The mantra of just getting things on net.
Well, look, when you're struggling, what's the one thing you resort back to? Simplify and shots, right? The Blues have been struggling, which has been a surprise. They've looks like they've played some pretty winnable games here down the stretch. But, these teams just played each other 2 weeks ago, right? So there's familiarity there. There's still a bad taste in the mouth of the Blues because they had a third period lead and they lost it to the Rangers in the third period. And they've seen what Shesterkin can do in the net. There's a lot of talk right now. I mean, you'd be a fool not to think that Shesterkin is a candidate for the Hart Trophy this year because of how well he's played. And we've seen the contrast that the Rangers are with Shesterkin in the net compared to without him in the net. So I played for Craig Berube. I can almost guarantee you that tonight his game plan is going to be, guys, we need shots. We need a lot of them, and we need to get into this goalie's face while we're doing it. That's how you get out of slumps. You resort back to the ugly game, right? You got away from the pretty stuff. You're struggling a bit. You get back to ugly, the simple stuff. Get shots on net. Get the dirty goals. Get in this guy's face. And I expect more of the same of that tonight. And in a situation like this, you lean on your best players to do it, right? Tarasenko is a guy we're looking at right now, over 2.5 shots. I think that's great value because he's the trigger man. He's the shooter on that line. He's playing with Thomas. He's playing with Kyrou. Those guys are the young, speedy guys, the passers in this scenario. And, I think that, with Shesterkin, you got to have, the overload of shots. You got to overwork him. You got to make it a tough workload for him in the net. And how do you do that? You pile up the shots in front of the net.
Nice. I like the fact that you brought up the idea of Shesterkin for the MVP. And there's a reason why he's the MVP. They're in contention for it, obviously. And that's because the Rangers are not a great team at 5-on-5. They're heavily reliant on the power play to score. I mean, this is a team that ranks 31st in Corsi percentage. They get outshot basically every game. They're 6th in unblocked shot attempts, bottom 10 in shots allowed per game. And another big angle here that why we like Tarasenko, Pavel Buchnevich is dealing with a concussion. So his shots, he's second on the team in shots. His shots are gone. Like you already brought up Craig Berube, he's going to lean on Tarasenko here in a big game. And with this Pacific Division heating up and the Blues losers of 4 straight, like what will Berube be saying before this game just to fire up the boys? Like this is a big game.
Well, look, Berube's he's not that rah-rah type of guy, but he comes in and he's got very short messages. He doesn't really say a lot when he talks, but when he talks, guys listen. And he's a very fiery guy. He's a very competitive guy. Guys listen when he speaks. He's basically going to come in and say, guys, you know what to do tonight. You know who we're playing. We know the recipe to win. Go out and do it. And the recipe to win against the Rangers team with one of the best goalies in the league is to make the life and the night difficult on him. Pepper him with shots from everywhere. And I think Tarasenko right now at 2.5 will play a big part in that.
Yeah, if you get too cute versus Shesterkin, you're not gonna get 3 goals.
No.
So Tarasenko averaging 3.2 shots per game with a median of 3. He gets 10.35% of the team's shots and could get even more, which Buchnevich out, and he's 8% of the team's shots. And the crazy thing is Jordan Kyrou is not even shooting the puck right now. 2 shots over his last 4 games. So,
surprising.
Yeah, lean on the Russian
Little
here.
All-star hangover, I think, for Jordan Kyrou.
Yeah, he didn't want to go out the first night of the All-Star game because he was so worried about winning the fastest skater competition.
Right.
Yeah, so we're expecting the Blues to come out, get some shots on net, and love this Tarasenko over 2.5 at -125. So those are our 3 plays today. That will do it for us here on NHL Props.
It's your birthday. It's my son's birthday, who's turning 5 today. Best birthday gift? 3-0, baby.
Let's do it. Awesome. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and let us know what you think in the comments. He's Carlo Colaiacovo. I'm Josh Inglis. Lead us out, Coco.
bang.